Alright, y'all. Get ready for a book reading experience so bad that it gave me an ovary cyst. It didn't give me an ovary cyst, but sure didn't help it when it exploded. The cyst, not my ovaries. I still have my giblets as of right now. Zoe Dean's Almost Famous, the second book in the Talent series. A series where the first book was so good and so promising that I was like, can't wait to do this, gonna blow through it before we started on our next series. I swear to God, every time I do one of these, it starts with me being like, I don't want to do this because it reminds me how much work reading is. And I know that's like, oh my God, it's so much work reading. No, you do not understand. This book was bad. And sometimes I'll like see YouTubers read books and they're reading much more complicated or dense books. And they're like, yeah, I didn't enjoy it, but I kept reading. And I'm like, I do not know how you do that, bestie. And then I do this, and I'm like, actively, this is not good. And I'm not enjoying myself, and I'm not having a good time, and this isn't the experience I'm looking for. And yet I persist. Alright, this is gonna be real quick and dirty, because the book is like 300 pages. I think I read approximately 200 of those pages. Bestie bad. Sherry and husband apologize. I'd like a note on my desk. I could be talking about dolls right now, but here I am serving cunt premium grade A poussoir for a book I didn't even enjoy. So like the whole appeal of the first book, and like my appeal in this video, is that you get to know the girls, and the girls are successful, and they're having fun, and like obviously you can't have your characters win all the time, but facing adversity and winning is kind of the like hallmark of a middle grade book that's not trying to teach you a lesson like don't do crack. And yet here we have a book where we just do not win. I will be comparing these books to the Click series because that's our like basis right now. The books are contemporary, so I feel comfortable doing. The like Click book structure is that Massey feels inadequate in some way and makes it everyone's problem. Either she is so successful that she pushes her friends away, and that's the low point of the book, or Massey Block feels inadequate in some way, makes it everyone else's problem, or she's so successful that it pushes her friends away, and then that's the low point of the story, and then Massey either has huge egomania, and then is humbled, and then that draws her friends back in. Again, plot moves that way. Like, a series is built on like obviously other authors write differently, but like the series is built on the fact that like there is an ebb and flow. We understand how these characters are going to respond to certain situations. The first book is effectively all wins except for at the very end, and it's a friendship thing. It's a friendship like kerfuffle where a lesson that took 12 books for Massey Block to learn is learned in one book by Matt. In the second book, we learn the lesson that middle school doesn't matter and that you should have already been on that Sigma grind set at 12, and that if you're gonna be a child star, really be a child star. And fucking abandon school, it doesn't matter. But it takes an entire book for us to learn this. And in between our previous high point and our current high point, we just get beaten with a dance shoe. First book, you're meeting all the girls and they're successful. Coco is like a prodigy, burgeoning dancer. Like, her failure comes at the fact that, you know, she's maybe not her mom. Like, that's her failure. Then the second book is still her learning that she's not her mom. Beck's arc is that, oh, she does like her boy best friend. Her next arc is that she is an insanely jealous person and realizes that her boy best friend will never like her the way she likes him. Mac is, I'm gonna be a talent agent. And then book 2's plot is I'm gonna be a talent agent. Fuck Bams. And then Emily is like, I'm gonna be an actor, question mark. And then book 2 is I'm gonna be an actor, period. And now book 3, which I'm reading, is I'm gonna be an actress, exclamation point. I am so confused. I'm call me a hater, because I am one. So like in book 1, Emily not getting the first role she tries out for is good. It's like she is a minuscule protozoa in a big oceanous pond, and her being fresh off the bus from Iowa and like being scouted but not getting the part, I think is important and good. I think it's good writing. I think that was a good choice. What is even I know I keep going on, but I'm like, what is even happening in this book? Beck doesn't really gain anything in her path to superstardom. Like the other things that are happening should be incidental to the goal of them becoming stars, of Massey making her friends stars, cultivating their talent. Instead, it's like, okay, the first book is about their talent and their friendship, and book 2, middle school. And you're like, what? Why do I care? Why do I care about these nepotism babies bullying these other nepotism babies? I would be like if Chet Hanks gave Timothy Chalamet a swirly. It's like, both of y'all are nepotism babies. I don't, this isn't, and then there's Emily. The only one, she's got the most amount of talent and the least amount of nepotism. I really liked in the first book that Coco would have been willing to dance with Ruby because she believed that that was her dream. And then like, now she has her not having that opportunity, her fumbling that back, means that she has the opportunity to do her own thing. However, in the second book, it just being so squarely in middle school, like I'm reading these as escapist fantasy. And with all of that in the center being that the girls are just truly and utterly beaten down. Why would you do this to me? Why do you hate me? And that's what it truly felt like. I physically couldn't make myself sit down and read it. And so what I decided is that I was just going to skip to the halfway point. And then I would skip to the halfway point and we were still doing the same damn thing. And then I skipped forward to the 200-page mark because I thought there was only like 260 pages in this book. No, there's like 320 something. So then I just like, I burned through that. I finally got through it and just like nothing happens in this book. And part of it is because you're reading the same event 3 different ways through these girls. And they're not technically the same event, but it's like the same day. Like these books take place over like a week. I think that's the one criticism I have about the 2 middle grade, 3 I guess, the 3 middle grade series that I've read. Is that Alphas, Cliques, and this all have the problem of the books taking place over like a week or so. And so everything is so important. What I ate, what I dressed like. It's all very like, I get it, yeah. Pink berry, coffee, that girl had ugly eyebrows, like I get it. Alright. Time for me to read the back of the book, nearly a half hour in. Almost Famous, a talent novel. Mackenzie Little Armstrong's life is almost perfect. She's discovered an almost movie star, and she's almost won Bel Air Middle School's most prestigious social position, but in Hollywood, almost doesn't seem to cut it. No pain, no fame, and nobody knows that better than Mac's nemesis, Ruby Goldman, whose only wish is to see Mac and her friends go from almost there to completely over. When Ruby gets her petal pink fingernails on some embarrassing gossip about Mac's inner circle, her wish might just come true. Now it's up to Mac and her BFFs to turn a major BAM's blooper into a super duper success as they climb their way to the top of Hollywood's food chain. Will they have what it takes to win the fame games, or are they doomed to a forever of almost? Let's just run through each girl's plot. So the starting point where they're all together, it's the night before they all start school, and they're together. No, it's the day of their first day of school, They're all together. They're setting up things. They're campaigning for Bam's social chair. Coco wants to be dance team captain. Emily's just trying to survive. Beck is thinking about the boy. She literally went from I'm a tomboy to boy crazy. The girls are all together. They see Goldman. They're getting everything together. They're so tea. Their body tea. She's pretty. Her body tea. That night they're all together at a sleepover and they prank call Goldman or Tatchman. Can't remember which one. Not important. And after they prank call, instead of closing out of the eye window, they leave it open. And you know what that means. You know my rule, do not conspire in public. They do not listen to my golden rule of don't conspire in public. And thus, they're caught doing embarrassing things. So, Coco pees herself laughing. Emily does an unflattering mockery of Tatchman or Ruby. Beck practices kissing the boy, Austin, with a cupcake or with whipped cream or whatever it is. It's very middle school and it's very embarrassing. Mac, truly unimportant. I know what you're thinking, Megan, this is the plot of the book and maybe if I had a better... No, actually, it won't help you. It didn't help me. So they go back to school after this has been found out and like Elliot Tatchman, adult man Elliot Tatchman, is mean to Emily because Emily was mean to his daughter. So that's like, grow up, let your daughter fight her own battles, but whatever. So Emily's like, something is wrong here. Somebody cooked here. Coco doesn't make the dance team, and then Beck gets blackmailed into helping Ellie learn how to surf so that she can impress the boy. Mac has to play personal assistant to Ruby. They run around and do that. It's humiliating. Emily's punishment is she has to star in a play as a pejorative. Basmo, the super freak, stalker, who's a big ol' hater, and it's a story written by Tatchman, by Kimmy Tatchman, and she's got a star in it. Mac is a pretty good leader in all this. She's like, you know what? If Coco has to be water girl, you're about to be the best water girl, so that you can prove yourself. That, you know, you are so great. Beck, you're gonna teach the shit out of this. She's still not gonna be good enough to get your man. Don't worry about it. And to herself, there's no way she can beat you. And to Emily, just like do the role so well. Like these executive producers are gonna be in the audience at Bamazamza. Bamazamza. And you're gonna knock their socks off. You're not gonna knock their Crocs and socks off. So like, do it up. Like, make the best of the situation. Being Goldman's assistant comes with having these rules that effectively are meant to dim Mac's shine. That like, part of the deal is that Ruby and Kimmy are like little worker drone bees. They're betas of Mac. And she will buy anything Mac buys, and she wants to be just like Mac. And so Mac isn't allowed to wear anything that Goldman owns. She doesn't have any like casual clothing. She's either got like really low key items, like effectively like pajama sets, or like high glam outfits. And of course that's like embarrassing when you're in middle school. Coco's plot is that she applies to be a part of the dance crew. They vote for her in. It's first day of practice. She's so excited to work with the girls. And then they're like, actually, we vetoed you. Oh, baby Ann, where are you, girl? Actually, we voted to veto you. So you're the water girl. With no explanation. And then for like the next 5 days, she's working her butt off and then getting nowhere. She sees that the dance isn't as good as it would have been under her direction. And the girls are getting frustrated. So she stages a coup with the girl Haley, I believe, and is like, hey, you should be dancing in a way that showcases everyone's strengths. instead of it just being about everyone doing the same moves or beautiful moves, but they're not showing off your strengths. So she, not romance novel Nazis, shows the girls what they could be doing. For the next 2 days they work on that. And she's like, you know what, guys? It's gonna make Haley, it's gonna make Ruby look silly, and that's fine because she wasn't listening to you guys anyway. I'll step in. I know the new choreo at BAMS Fest because that's the thing. We've moved on from the social chair to BAMS Fest. I don't know what happened with social chair. And honestly, it probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because of how this series is going. Maybe it will, and they'll explain it to me in book 3. I will tell you, you get to BAMS Fest and double cross. The girls do the original performance and Coco looks silly in front of her mom and her dad and all these executives and things, and she's like, I'm an idiot sandwich. We'll come back to it at the end. We'll come back to her. Coco's plot is that she's embarrassed her, or not Coco. Beck's plot is that she wants Austin. Ellie wants Austin. She's been looped into teaching Ellie how to surf, and they even kind of start to make friends. But while at like a skate shop, Beck is like being ironic and uses outdated surfing lingo. An actual representative for Roxy surfing shows up and sees Ellie and is like, oh my god, you're so pretty. We would love to have you model some of our stuff. And Beck is like, that's my dream. That's what I want to do. And yeah, okay, weirdo. And she's like pissed. And then like the whole thing with Austin is happening. So she switches to the dark side and explains to Ellie after teaching her how to just get up onto a surfboard. Like, this is how you do a 10 toes down hang 10. And she's like, ugh. So then Beck goes to Bama Zamba Bamba and she does her surf. It's a great surf. Ellie does hers, barely gets up onto the board, and then does the 10 toes down, crashes. Austin goes running onto the sea to go save her, and he's like, why would you do that? You're not even that experienced, girl. And she's like, Beck taught me. And Austin's like, how could you? I guess you really never know someone, because he's like, how could you teach that noob that? And Beck is like, oh my god, he has never looked at me the way he's looking at her right now. I don't see it for me, bestie. That plot point happens. Emily does pejorative. She really knocks it out of the park. She like learns from Kimmy, does all these things. She goes to a coffee shop to study an NPC weirdo who's like obsessed with cardamom, and so she knows how to be like a stalker, weirdo, psychopath, you know, Maria type beat, Maria by Justin Bieber type beat. She goes up on stage, starts doing her act, and then I believe Kimmy plays the embarrassing video of them in the background anyway, so everyone's like, 9/11. Mac is still trying to figure out if she can double cross her, because they're like two alphas playing chess. They are two alphas engaged in a game of chess. In an attempt to gain something to embarrass Goldman, she is looking to steal her phone, but she realizes that, oh, she was expecting that, and that, no, don't go for the phone. It doesn't have anything for you. She plays it really cool, and then she thinks that she's gonna get one over on her for whatever purpose. Unimportant. It doesn't work because, duh, that's the plot. She tries to, I think Goldman is gonna do a pop song. She then switches the lyrics from like I love BAMS to I hate BAMS and I'm a loser and whatever. That doesn't work. And so Mac is like, ugh, defeated. Everyone's defeated. And Mac has her like Massey block. I've never felt failure, and feeling failure feels bad. Monologue. It's not as impressive when it happens to someone that's not Massey Block, because Massey Block is just so... She's so her. She's that bitch. This 12 to 13-year-old girl is that bitch. But she has these feelings. The girls go home and they wallow for a little bit. And then they go to a sleepover. They are at the sleepover, they wallow, they go home. Emily's in the basement with the door open. Again, do not conspire in public. My one rule, do not conspire in public. She do be conspiring, and it do be in public. She's like, Mom, it's not working out. I want to go home. I hate it here. And Mac hears Emily say that, and Emily feels so bad because Mac has been nothing but nice to her. And she's like, oh my god, I like ruined this friendship just because I'm like, oh, it sucks here and I hate it here because I'm not getting what I want because Emily is what? A brat. And so Mac goes to her mother and is like, what do I do next? And her mom is like, girl, I'm sorry, I'm pretending to give a fuck right now. But like, this is middle school and you've got a girl that you in approximately 4 days got an interview, audition, and like considered for the starring role in a teen rom-com. Girl, you do not need to be worried about middle school. We have bigger fish to fry. And Mac's like, you're right, we do. So on her plot cul-de-sac is like, ugh. Coco goes home to her mom and her mom's got this cute breakfast spread for her and her mom's like, why are Rebecca's... I'm like, too many names. Coco was like, why? I failed. I don't need, I failed you. And Cardamom's like, no, I love you. There's no failure in love. If you don't want to be a pop star, like, that's fine. Like, I just want you to be happy and I will support you and your dreams, whatever form that may take. Because I love you, boo. Coco really takes a beat to think, does she want to be a pop star? So, it's the next Monday. The girls are in Z-list status at BAMS. They're feeling really low about it. They're feeling really, really sad. And there's no Mac. It's Coco, Emily, and Bex at the lunch table. They haven't heard from Mac at all. And they're like, at lunch, guess who rolls up? In a limo. Or a rented BMW. And it's Mac. And she's like, besties, we are bigger than this. What has transpired effectively is Mac is just, I don't know what an agent or publicist does, really. I have a couple of friends, mutuals, who are that, and I've kind of got an idea of what they do, but like, maybe it's because Mac is white and rich. She's doing too much. So she took a snippet of a stupid little folk song that Coco wrote about being the water boy, and is like, write more of it. I think you could really be the next like folksy Nelly Furtado jewel, but not living in your car, and we're gonna work on that. Forget about this boom cack bullshit. You can do that later. Follow your heart, your intuition. We'll work on that later. We're gonna get you into folk spaces. She got back an interview with we got a lot of pejoratives here, with the Dixie Girls, a surfing collective, and she's hopefully going to have a chance to model with them. And for them, they're like booth babe, but for surfing, which is a little sus for a 13-year-old girl to be doing. But effectively, they like go to surf competitions, wear the surf merch, hang around and be like seen in the merch. Think Dot Girls of 2017. And then they're just around. They're like pretty good surfers, but they're mostly just like model beautiful girls. Lily Rose Depp. And Emily's plot is that, you know who's in the audience during the pejorative performance? Elliot Tatchman? No. Someone else. And my mother was sitting next to them. And she said, this performance is pretty good. She said, yeah, performance is pretty good. They gave Claudia the axe. Emily now has the role in the She's the Man ripoff. And she is, So the role is now going to Emily, and she's got to be on set. So the deal is, I believe Beck and Coco are still going to BAMS, but Emily and Mac are going to be doing on-set school while Mac manages her friends, which seems like a bad idea, but that's what's happening. And she's going to be, that's what we're happening in the next book. So literally, after an entire book of just like, stay down, they just all win in the end, seemingly unrelated to any of their activities. The girls all learned lessons, which is, you know, keep your nose to the ground, grind it out, Sigma grind set. However, it is generally unrelated to their wishes and needs. I'm really looking forward to being done with this series. I really like Ruby Goldman as a villain. I don't know how she's gonna loop back into this. I feel like Hollywood is gonna be the enemy. I don't know, man. I'm really trying to be done with the book series that I entered 2023 with. I really want to be done with them before we get into 2024. I really want it to be a blank slate. So expect videos at weird times. They're gonna kind of be big videos because, like, I have nothing. I, produced all the short shit that I had for you guys before the break. Thank you for letting me take my November break. I needed it. This book takes place over 7 days. I read it in 5 months. It was bad. My general consensus is don't read this. Tell me what you think about this series in the comments. Tell me what you think about my half-assed attempt. Not since Sealed with a Diss has a book pissed me off this much that I physically had to stop reading. But yeah, that's what we're on today.